I'm a natural blonde. I'm a dancer, I'm a singer, I'm a performer, I'm an improviser, I'm a teacher, I'm a wife. I can be many things. For this particular performance, I'm a media star.
I am a musician and sometimes a visual artist, and in this performance I am nowhere to be seen, but I am there.
It's about this woman who is a media presenter of varying descriptions. She does the weather and the commercials and the news, and she has a lot of technology attached to her body. She is very much in control, or wanting to be in control, but there are points at which there's a point at which she starts to lose control, and we don't know if it's the technology making her lose control or if she's losing it and therefore the technology is taking over.
I think you have to go back 2 years back into the past, where we expressed interest to work together and try to combine live singing with movement and electronic music. That was the starting point for our collaboration. The starting point for this piece in particular, I think, was most of the work that we did this summer, where we spent 2 months researching here in Kortrijk. A lot of reading was going on. A few themes emerged, and one of them is the technology that we were talking about, but also the notion of speed. And then we picked up a lot of information from French theorist and philosopher Paul Virilio, and there was a lot of interesting things that emerged from his work. His notions of speed and fragmented media and the effects on people, on how people perceive reality, because nowadays reality presents itself through an incredible amount of layers and forms, and so that was very interesting for us. I think we started in 2005 buying our first sensors and testing out options, going to workshops to find out about Maximus P and the usual steps that you take before you launch yourself in such a thing. And then we spent 2 years fine-tuning a system which actually, for me personally, became usable a couple of days ago. So I sort of knew that this was going, you can see the point in the future where then it will be stable, and I sort of knew from past experiences that it takes a long time before you get there. So it's a question of staying on track and remaining focused and knowing what it is that you want and not adding things to it along the way, which is something we did not do. We actually pretty much, we had a system after a few months, and we're still using the same system. Also, because it's important for Suzanne to really learn the in and outs of all the senses, and to, if you start changing your configuration after a few weeks, you're never going to get anywhere. So now we have this system, but you can say in general that it took us about 2 years and help from many people. So it was quite a ride.
I had them on my body as soon as I could work out how to attach them. I made the attachments myself and worked out where they needed to be useful for me. I was part of that process, and then working out how I could actually move with them on my body, and what was interesting to look at the same time as being interesting in terms of what came out of the sensor. I tried to make the buttons on and off and record as sort of subtle as possible, so that it becomes more about the character talking to herself rather than we seeing all the time somebody pressing on and off. You get more into the story of this person rather than, oh, she's pressing a button now.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Fantastic idea. Sign lease forms, pay gas bill. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Maybe tomorrow, Kiwi.
Well, I can have conversations with myself because I can record my own voice and I can play it back by pressing a button with effects generated by the sensors. So when I move my arm, or I move the slide sensor on my leg, or I move the accelerometer on my head, so if I move my head, it changes the sound of my voice, which has an effect on the personality. I mean, it's me, but it's not me. So then you have a sort of schizophrenic thing happening. It can also be a reflection of what is happening in my head, or you can see it as another character coming in that she's actually having a dialogue with. And so that has also transformed the texts, and she's really apart from herself, which is quite odd. She sees herself from outside as a viewer would see her. If I lose connection, Bluetooth connection, then I don't have control of the sensors anymore, and then half the game is gone. I mean, yes, it has given us an enormous amount of material to use, ideas. Oh, we could do this, and we could do this, and what happens? But in performance, it's more.
Restrictive.
It's restrictive.
But the funny thing is that actually when you start working with these technologies, and as Suzanne says, you have all these options, that you're actually in the same situation as anyone else who uses technology on a daily basis, because the sensors, the data from the sensors is sent over a wireless connection to a computer. If that connection breaks, then indeed the performer is in the shit. If I lose my GSM tomorrow, I'm in the shit as well. So in a way, there is a funny. We did not plan this, but you find out after a while that what we are doing is actually some sort of really a mirror situation of everyone else out there who uses technology, and it's kind of funny in a way, I find. So it's restrictive, but at the same time, it's descriptive of the situation we want to bring forward.
Wireless, user-friendly, safe for all the family. Ultra-high definition, real-time manipulation of the world around you. A twist of your wrist spins you into new dimensions.
The comment that we had was that initially in the first showings was that there was too much going on all the time, that the technology really took over, and in terms of having lots of image and lots of sound all the time. So we did take the decision to reduce the number of things happening at certain moments to give it breathing space.
People gave us reactions also regarding their comprehension of what's going on, in a way that people apparently feel the necessity to understand every move and every cause and effect relationship. Personally, I think that is not so important. And a couple of months ago, we actively worked on that to make sure that at times it's very clear that they understand what's going on, and at times that they don't have a clue and that it actually should not matter. And by taking out certain things, this process was achieved like that.
So little does so much. A twist of your wrist spins you into new dimensions.
Overall, what we would try to give to people is that we give them a glimpse into a box, and in that box is a person running around, and there's some sound and there's some images, and after 50 minutes the box closes. They see a story that sort of ended the way it started, so there is no end statement, and I would like them to leave the theater having laughed a little bit, because it's a funny piece during several moments, and also I would like to have put some images into their heads which make them a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, and if we succeed in doing that, I will be very happy.